Yeah, Russ, you've seen this Rams defense twice already. One of them was just 2 weeks ago. I mean, what's the challenge of facing this good of a defense?
I mean, they do everything well. They got a great defensive line. They got really good linebackers that can run side to side. The DBs can really play. They do a great job. They're coached extremely well. It's gonna be a great matchup, and some, we have a lot of respect for how they play the game and how they go about their business.
Joe Fan.
Russ, Pete spoke on Sunday about how when you guys play good defense, it's kind of speaking to the slow starts you've gotten off to the last couple of weeks, that there's sort of a feeling out process or a patience that goes into it. Can you maybe speak to what you think of that patience to where when you play against good defense, it might take some time for things to come together?
Yeah, I think every game, all the receivers over here, Tyler and Swain and Demo. Every game dictates itself, and you just play the game as it comes to you. I don't think you try to force the game. You think you play the game as is, and I think for us, obviously, you always want to start faster. Obviously, we know how to start fast. We've done that a lot this year. But I think that the key is also being able to finish. And I think the good thing about some of these past couple weeks games, in my opinion, is that to be able to be in tight matchups, tight games at the end of the season to help prepare you for the playoffs, because playoff matchups are always kind of crazy. They can be emotional, they can be all this and that, and the team that can really settle down and be calm and be poised and be focused in on what the mission is and execute at the end of the game, those are the teams that usually win.
Omar.
Hey, Russell, thanks for taking the time, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Along those same lines, when you have a receiver who is hot, as Tyler seemingly was on Sunday, and you keep feeding him the ball, how much of it is continuing to go to him because you don't feel he can be stopped, and how much of it is you're going there just because that's what the defense continues to give you? How does that balance come?
Yeah, I think when you got great receivers across the board, you got obviously Tyler, DK, Demo, Swain, all those guys. Penny can make some plays for us. I mean, everybody gets in the game, and I think as you've seen, throughout my career, but also throughout this season, even, is that everybody touches the football and everybody makes plays for us. And I think obviously Tyler and DK, those guys keep making the plays. But when Tyler's that hot, you want to keep getting them the ball, obviously. But also, that you got other great players like DK over there, and you want to get him the ball because he can make something special happen too. So some of it's you're trying to get him the ball, Tyler, for example, in that situation, or DK. But then also it's also balancing too the idea that you read throughout your progressions, and next thing you know, like the other day, Tyler was really my last read, on the last touchdown, and so just sometimes guy just keeps getting open. He keeps finding a way, and so he's really special. Obviously, DK is really special too. All those guys are. So I'm grateful that I got a great receiving crew, and Tyler, DK, Demo, Swain, Penny, those guys.
Thanks, man.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Russ, it's a very non-football, very open-ended question for you. What does being black mean to you? What does your blackness mean to you?
That's a big question. Man, yeah, I mean, I think, I think for me, first of all, I'm blessed by God's grace to be able to do what I get to do. I think first of all, no matter what your color of skin, I think God loves us all. Jesus loves us all. So for me, I think that's where the center of everything starts for me, is just my faith and loving all people and loving, my children and loving other people as well, my teammates. No matter what your socioeconomic status is, no matter, the huddle, for example, everybody's different. Everybody, some guys are taller, some guys, some guys, have tons of faith, some guys, are just getting new to it. Some guys have a lot, and sometimes guys have little, and it's kind of like how society is a little bit. When you look at that glimpse, I think for me, obviously, first of all, start about being quarterback, to be African American quarterback in this league. There's a responsibility, I think. There's a great responsibility, and I love it because I'm one of 32 men in the world to get to do what I get to do. But, I also think that there's been other African-American quarterbacks before me that have given me the opportunity, helped bless me the opportunity, and other great athletes across, from Jackie Robinson to other amazing athletes, in the history of sports, that help crack doors open because, for athletes like myself. And hopefully I can continue to crack doors open for other young kids along the way and the next generation, and to provide hope for all different races. especially for the African American community. I think, also too, I think as a father, I think it's really important to me, to be able to, raise my kids, to give them the best opportunity to not only excel but to also love, and to also to be able to, just demonstrate, I think, the way that Jesus wants us to love, and to be able to, love others, and just really try to do the best that you possibly can every day, and create hope, and create, to inspire people. And I think that's that responsibility too. And so I think that for me, I don't take it for granted. I think it's a great responsibility, and I think it's a gift that God's given me to be able to speak, but also to be able to lead, and also to be able to be a quarterback of a franchise like this, and the multi-billion-dollar franchise. And every day I thank God every day because of God's grace and what He's given me. At the same time, there's also that responsibility and also opportunity to be able to inspire somebody else. And so I hope that answers some of it, as much as I can there. Mike.
Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, thank you.
Brady.
Hey, Russ, what's it like playing at Lumen Field in a playoff game when the stadium is packed, and what do you think it's going to be like on Saturday with nobody in the stands?
Yeah, I was talking to Mark Rogers about that this morning, actually, on the phone. We were talking just about, how much different it is, because he was talking about, I haven't seen you for, 8 months or however long it's been, and I was like, yeah, it's crazy, because you're not going to be able to come to the playoffs and just the stadium, and, it's definitely different. Obviously, Lumen Field's a special place. It's one of the best stadiums in the world. In my opinion, I think it is the best stadium with the fans there, and it's a special moment, special place, and there's been some amazing matchups, some amazing games, and I miss the stadium shaking literally on the field while you're standing there, and it's the fourth quarter, and it's the defense is out there, and it's 4th and 3 or something like that, and just the fans are going crazy, and I got my towel in my hand, and I miss those moments for sure. But I also think that, for me, ever since I was a young kid, it didn't really matter who was around. You get so lost in the moment, and so lost in the game, and you respect the process so much that whether it's 75,000 people or only 5 people watching in the stands, it really doesn't matter. And so, if you love the game that much, I think that helps. But you do miss the fans and the enjoyment of it. I feel bad for the young guys, the rookies, and even guys like Jamal and Carlos, who are just coming in, just getting to the playoffs and just experiencing Seattle. Even Greg and I were talking about on the plane the other day. It's like he's like, man, I've never really got to experience. I've gotten to play here and and had crazy matchups here and stuff like that, but I've never been on this side of it and walking around the city and just feeling the energy of how special this city is and how much we all love it. And so, yeah, I think that we miss our fans, but we know they'll be right there with us and cheering us on, and hopefully we can do something special here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jackie.
Hey, Russ. We talked to Jamal earlier today, and he said that there's no doubt that he will be playing on Saturday. What does he mean to this defense in terms of his energy and what he brings to the field?
Well, I think he's got tremendous energy. I think that's unmatchable, just in terms of how much passion he brings to the game, how much speed he brings to the game, the understanding of the game, how he processes the information so fast and recognizes things, great communicator of the game. I think also, too, when you got him, a guy like Jamal, and then you have a guy like Bobby, and you have a guy like KJ, and you have a guy like Carlos, and so many other great players, Diggs as well in the back end, and those guys are extremely good vets that have played the game so much. And I may be missing a couple guys here and there, but it's their energy and passion just across the board really shows up. We were watching a highlight of some of the stuff from last game, and Benson, for example, a guy who's been here and been around us and been in the big moments and just kind of played and gone to different teams and stuff like that. But he's back, and just his energy and how ferocious he is off the edge, and it's fun. It's fun to see everybody kind of unite as one. And I think when you have that defense and that character of those guys, but with our offense and the character of our guys and how we all mesh together and how much of a joy we all celebrate each other. And it's a journey. And I think Jamal has been a perfect fit for us. I'm excited about where he's going with his career, and hopefully we have to play together for a long, long time.
Corbin.
Hey, Russ, you've talked a lot this season about the depth of the offensive line, but the 5 games this year where you've had all 5 of your projected starters up front, you've scored more than 11 points per game more in those games. Getting ready to play one of the best defensive lines in the league in the Rams again, second time in 3 weeks. What's the biggest difference having those 5 guys out there compared to, say, if some backups are in the lineup?
Well, I think it definitely helps. You know, when you think about Dwayne Brown, obviously he's one of the best left tackles, in my opinion, the best left tackle in the game. You have, Big Mike over there. You know, him being able to step up. He's had so much playoff experience and been in so many amazing matchups and gone against so many great players over his career. He understands the game so well. And then obviously Posick has done a tremendous job this season. D. Lou, he's a guy who's been one of the best rookies in football. He's been really great for us. He's so strong, so smart. And then, obviously Shell and Ced's done great for us too. So, but Shell, to be back in there is great. And so to have those, as you mentioned, the first 5 games, we had all those 5 guys. And unfortunately, guys got kind of dinged up. It's part of the process. But, we were missing some guys the first time we played them for sure. And then along the way, some of those other games. And, when you, that kind of, that wall of protection, whether it's running or passing, is really, really a key part of the game. It allows everything to work and function, and from the running game to the passing game to everything else you want to do, to controlling the game, and to being explosive, to all that stuff. So I think that's a key component of this, and I'm excited about where we're going, and obviously to be against a great defensive line, obviously in the Rams and all the things they can do, and to have our guys in there. It's going to be a battle, and it's going to be a great matchup for sure.
Art.
Of course, I was late to the conversation. Have you been asked about the events in D.C. today?
Not specifically. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to get your sense. I know you're hyper-focused on an important game on a short week, but I am sure you kept an eye on some things, and I just wanted to get your sense of outrage about this. Yeah,
well, honestly, we've been meeting all day. I got to go to my phone one time today, and I got to see what was going on for a split second. It's just kind of what I got to see. I haven't seen everything, but all I know is that what we do need to do is come together as a nation, and it has to start with love. It has to start with people coming together, and our leaders and everything else, in our country, and we need safety, we need protection for our children and people, and I think that that's really kind of all I've seen. It just kind of seems like a madhouse down in D.C. I don't know much more than that, but what I do know is I do know that's a critical part to our change that we need to make, in America. And it starts with, like I've always said to you guys, I think it starts with love at the center of it all. Yeah.
Greg.
Russ, what specifically has Brandon Shell brought you guys this season?
Well, I think he's brought consistency at the right tackle position when he's in there. He's got such long arms. He keeps guys awake. He's got great space. He's got great understanding of the game. He's a great pass protector. He's been really good for us when he's in there. I think Sed has really done a great job too, stepping in too as well. So both those guys at the right tackle position have been great. We've been able to stay on schedule throughout the year, which I think has been able to really help, and really get those conversions, and especially as of late, and also some of those big plays downfield and all that kind of stuff. And when you have a great left tackle over there, the best in the game over the left tackle, to have another right tackle that has had great experience and can really help control that edge over there, really helps with just space in the pocket. And I think those guys have done a great job of that this year.
It's probably obvious, but how important is it when you do your dropbacks, if the first thing you see is protection rather than someone storming your front side? You can see that right in the face.
Yeah, I think that always helps. I think that's but those guys, they've done a great job this season, I think, in our pass protection stuff for the most part, especially when we're all healthy and everything else. And the guys who've stepped in have done a great job, and they've battled. We've gone against some B-Wags. But we've done a really good job of that, and I think we've just continued to battle. And we've had some great matchups, and I think we're definitely prepared and ready to roll. And, anytime, you're dropping back, you want to be able to have that space and that rhythm and the timing and the flow, because the passing game is all about rhythm and timing and flow, and to be on time and, get the throws off and be able to get them off the way you want them to. And those guys up front, they always do a great job of helping out with that.
All right, thank you all. I've got to let Russ run to meetings. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much. Go Hawks.